What up, YouTube? It's Rob Monty bringing you guys some more wrestling news content. Alright, so let's get on going today. I'm feeling great. Let's just get into it. Unfortunately, though, I have to start off with some sad news, though. Legendary wrestler known as the Texas Legend Killer, Tim Brooks, has passed away, as reported yesterday. Basically, his son came out and spoke on his father's behalf of his passing. And this is what he had to say. And man, I don't know why I'm getting texted. But anyway, this is what his son Clayton Brooks said. It is with a heavy heart that we, the Brooks family, announce that our father, loving husband, brother, and friend, has made his depart from this earth and to the heavens. From the Brooks family, we want to say thank you for all the prayers, love, and support through these terrible times. Dad was the toughest man I have ever met. He fought cancer like I have seen no other. With all the accomplishments he made through his 73 years on this earth, from being an Army veteran of the Vietnam War to holding just about every championship belt through professional wrestling and a Hall of Famer, most of all he was a God-fearing man, a wonderful husband to his wife of 13 years, Julie, the best father and grandfather to us kids. He will be missed dearly by so many. We will keep everybody updated on the arrangements as they made. Thanks again for the love and support. So for those of you guys who don't know legendary wrestler Tim Brooks here, the Legend Killer in Texas, he was a former major big time star within the NWA, and he has won titles such as the NWA Pacific Northwest Tag Team Championship alongside his partner Roddy Piper. He also won the WCC Television Championship and the NWA Texas Heavyweight Championship. He was a 3-time NWA Texas Tag Team Champion, as he's held the titles with Stan Hansen, Leroy Brown, and Stan Stasiak. So this guy is definitely one of the legends of our industry, teaming up with Roddy Piper. As I was going down and reading this, AEW has already sent their condolences, as they said. AEW joins the wrestling world in the mourning the death of killer Tim Brooks. Our thoughts are with his family, his friends, and his fans. And then Keith Lee even went on to say, actually aware of the pain today brings, he was my birth, my knowledge, my preparation home when I was homeless. I had not seen him when I did. I never would again. Thank you, Killer Tim Brooks, for training me. I love you. Hashtag rest in peace, Killer Brooks. The next one is dedicated to you. So Keith Lee is dedicating his next match. Bobby Folk didn't even actually tune in. And then, which he says, so sorry to hear the passing of the legendary killer Tim Brooks, a true icon of the sports of professional wrestling. I remember him wrestling for the Sheik's Big Time Wrestling. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family and friends and fans. And then one last one, Booker T even got to speak up on it, and he says, I'll never forget wrestling killer Tim Brooks at the Unicorn Ballroom in Houston. One of my very first matches, I learned so much. Rest in peace. So, my thoughts on this in general is that, first and foremost, my condolences to the Brooks family. It's a rough time for anyone to lose their loved one. And, hey, from what it seems here, I didn't know, I'm going to be honest, guys, I never got to actually watch Tim Brooks at all yet. I'll probably find something to watch with all the content they got on the WWE Network and other places. So, more than likely, I'll probably check out more of his stuff. But as far as his family is concerned, prayers, condolences. You guys are in my thoughts and prayers. You know, and rest in peace, legend killer Tim Brooks. All right. Now, moving on to bigger news with WWE has come out with so much stuff going on. First and foremost, they have backstage news delaying plans for... No, I'm good. Basically, they have backstage plans that are going around that are denying plans for shows with live fans. So, let me rephrase that, actually. There's backstage news in WWE right now that is denying plans of future shows with fans at the current state of moment. And you can't really blame them for that just because, well, with the whole COVID-19 thing going on. I mean, they're having issues with certain talent that have come into the company in the last couple weeks, you know. And they just, my goodness, they came in bringing in the damn disease, the virus, over into the company. So now they have to go and fix that problem, you know. And I feel for them. I mean, that's one thing because, you know, that means the show will not have fans for quite a while. And I think that would pretty much make a lot of fans upset who are looking forward to going back to watching the shows later on this year. So my honest opinion is be patient. They'll probably allow it. But this is what is being said right now. You know? Although WWE was looking into making plans of holding events with live fans in attendance at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida, those plans have been put to a halt. According to Fightful, WWE's plans to get shows with fans in attendance come July. People in WWE were said to have been notified and told those plays were delayed. WWE reps informed Fightful that the information regarding the shows was not accurate, but no other details were offered outside of that. In general, guys, I look at that particular situation there. Here's the thing. I'm a wrestling news channel, right, guys? I pretty much report what I find out on news, live Twitter feeds, and looking up different dirt sheets, maybe even the Observer sometimes, and just seeing what's going on with the wrestling companies in general on their websites. But, you know, or even just watch the shows. And I can understand why WWE would contact Fightful in this because, hey, they want to make sure if you're going to put out stuff like that and report it, make sure you get your facts straight before you do it. And they said what they have said is it's not accurate for what is being said. But do I believe the plans are delayed? Yes. It will have to deal with the COVID-19 thing, the pandemic in general, and the fact that some of the talent that they have down there have been infected. As you all know, Renee Young. By the way, I found it very hilarious because Renee Young, as we all know, she had this big announcement. A lot of people were fearing for her release, or some were asking and praying that she was going to be let go by WWE. And it comes out today is she was actually on the verge of letting people know she has written her own cookbook. So, but anyway, I think that's great. I mean, that's a great way to make money while you're taking time off just to heal up from COVID-19. And I wish that cookbook the best of success. I'm actually thinking about looking at it myself. I'm a cook myself. I want to learn some stuff that maybe she has something. Maybe she has some cool recipes that I've never tried out before. You know. As far as WWE's situation with the COVID-19, the pandemic, this thing has been rough in general. First, you had Black Wednesday. Next thing you know, all the stocks are crashing. Next thing you know, there is They're starting to allow people to be in attendance. Next thing you know, somebody brings in COVID-19 apparently, and next thing you know, they're having this issue where they have to test all the superstars. And as far as live attendance, I just watched a movie last night that had something about pandemic where the fucking contagion was contained in this abandoned hospital, and basically anybody who goes in there gets sick. And that's what I kind of see with what's going on with COVID-19. I mean, if you have someone who's sick in an audience or in attendance, somebody's gonna get it. Somebody's gonna test positive for it. It's just a matter of time and when and who. That's just about it. Can't help it. Just can't help it. Other than now, take the freaking precautious measures that you have to do, which they were already doing. Now they're cracking it down even more so. So that's what's going on with that. Other news that's pertaining to WWE today. Happens to be filing of some trademarks, and I'm gonna let you know, guys, right now on this picture right here, what trademarks they are trademarking right now. As you can see, I have the WCW logo, and this is the 2000 logo, by the way. So yes, WWE has filed trademarks for certain WCW content, and which go as following. As to the PWI Insider have indicated, WWE has filed for new trademarks for Wrestle War. For some people who are classic fans of WCW, you will remember Wrestle War through 1989 and 1992. One of the most famous matches out of Wrestle War was Sting Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance. If you don't know what was the Dangerous Alliance was, that is Paul Heyman's major stable back when he was Paul E. Dangerously in WCW. In fact, on the article that I'm reading on EWN, they have actually included the full match between Sting Squadron versus Dangerous Alliance. If you want to watch that, if you want to watch more Wrestle War, you could also go on to onto WWE Network, and they have all the old pay-per-views. Also, for those of you who don't know about Wrestle War, before Fall Brawl happened, Wrestle War was the thing, and that's where they had war games. I know they have war games for Starrcade and all that, but Wrestle War was one of those main ones. And they have also provided a statement that has been gone for Wrestle War, and it says, for GNS Entertainment Services, namely a show about professional wrestling entertainment services, namely the production and exhibition of professional wrestling events rendered live and through broadcast media, including television and distributed via various platforms across multiple forms of transmission media, providing wrestling news and information throughout the broadcast media, including television, distributed and via various platforms across multiple forms of transmission media, providing information in fields of sports and entertainment through broadcast media, including television and distributed various platforms of transmission media, providing a website of sports entertainment information. Basically, they're trying to get Wrestle War so that they can use it for, let's say, future wrestling events if they ever decide to do Wrestle War themselves. Also, to be able to allow and transmit the old Wrestle War shows on the network, or even on various platforms such as Fox News. I mean, not Fox News, but Fox Sports. My bad. See, I've been getting into a lot of political debate, so much with some friends online that we're getting talking about Fox News, CNN News, like, bam, But anyway, WWE is filing trademarks for Wrestle War from WCW, so they can actually air some programming from those shows. All right. I actually want to go over this because I know I reported the passing of Hana Kimura not too long ago, and today there's more stuff that has come out. Let me pull it up on my computer here. I had more stuff here. You know, this is actually breaking news to me because I saw it on Instagram nonetheless, and it was on a fan page for Hana Kimura, and I'm gonna read it to you guys because I kind of found it very despicable for what I read in general, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I side with Hana Kimura's mother, Kyoko, on this whole situation because I totally agree. What makes this despicable is what I learned out of this, and what I'm gonna report to you guys. This is kind of despicable in my own. I don't know. It's kind of my own thought here because I had to think about it, but basically, I went on Instagram. The fan page showed stuff that Hana Kimura's mother had spoke about in an interview, and there's even more translations. But it pertains to Terrace House. As you know, Hana was a member of those people on Terrace House, that reality show in Japan, and this is what was said. And this is I'm reading off a fan who posted this up from the interview, and she basically translated in a summarized what Hana Kimura's mother was saying, and where it says, Hana's mother confirms with the media that Hana was pressured to act more violent and aggressive on Terrace House, and that the costume incident episode was staged. And let me show you guys. I mean, I'm not gonna bring it up because I don't have this on. Don't have Instagram on my computer, but right there, the article's right there, and quite honestly, I feel bad for Hana right now, even more so. I mean, for one, she got cyber bullied into her own death, and reality, like I told you guys, I think cyberbullying is murder in general if someone kills themselves due to cyberbullying or any kind of bullying for that matter, because it's like you pretty much forced her to think that she's not worth it at all, and you basically put her in a state where she decides to take her life. To me, that's why I consider it murder. However, when it comes to Hana here, guys, I mean, damn. And this is why you guys gotta be careful about the media in general, mainstream media, or TV, or even entertainment in general, because they have their own agendas. And reality is this: if I had to use in perception, when it comes to TV agendas or broadcasting, they can tell you what they want you to do and what they can do. And they can also threaten you in any kind of way. And, man, I consider this despicable from the people of Terrace House. Because they basically pressured her in to being this way on Terrace House. And, I have a lot of friends who've watched Terrace House. I've even watched a lot of things on Terrace House. And I really had a good impression of Hana, even if she was a little bit more aggressive than what she usually would be. Quite honestly, my first impression of actually even getting to watch Hana Kimura is a fun-loving person. I think I would have a beer with her or a drink with her, and just maybe party in the night, just dance, hang out, that's because she seemed like such a full of life energy girl. I don't think she was a bad person in general. Sadly, she took her own life because people thought that way. And what bothers me is that they pressured her into doing this. And on top of that, now it's also coming to light that that whole costume incident was in fact staged. It was staged. This is why the media is stupid as fuck. Because they want to boost ratings or they want to boost viewership. They decide to do stupid shit like this. And not thinking about the consequences in all of it. And quite honestly, when I watched that, Hana is made it so believable. Too, if this was staged and she probably didn't care about her costume, she made it very believable to me that, that those guys weren't really being her friends at the time. I felt for her. I cried for her in that whole episode in general. And to find out that Terrace House had actually staged that, and knowing what came out of it, guys, that's just fucking despicable. I stand by Kyoko on this, guys, and I stand by Hana. I mean, God rest her soul. And, man, I feel bad. I feel so horrible for this whole fucking situation. I know I had no fucking part in, cyberbullying her, but damn, I feel very, very offended that someone would stage this situation that would ultimately cause her death because all those people who don't know how to shut their mouths on Twitter fucking had to go and make a fucking ass comment. And then on top of that, now you find out it was staged. I don't know. Should we... What you guys think? Should we even watch Terrace House anymore now because of what happened? I mean, that... Oh my god. I feel fucking very horrible about this, guys. I'm sorry. I look at this poor girl right now on the screen and I'm just like, man, you did not deserve to die. You actually deserved a full, healthy life and a full, beautiful wrestling career, and you could have been one of the greatest legends. And you know what? In my opinion, you are a legend. That's how I look at her, guys. Sad. Just fucking sad. And if there's anyone to blame at this point, it's Terrace House. I'm sorry, guys. Alright. Guys, I have to take a second on that just because that girl is younger than me and I could tell she had a bright future and now it's snuffed out because people decided to go bully her, and then on top of that, now we're finding all this shit out. I mean, that's so fucked up, That's fucked up. Alright. Next thing on the news today, Kairi Sane was actually made it into the news as well today. Oh man, Kairi and Hana in the same day having news going around. And what is being said about Kairi Sane today is that basically has 5 full select reports that she has been having complicated statuses in WWE. As you guys know, she has been injured due to her last match with Nia Jax. For most of you who saw the brutal cut that she had got in that match against Nia Jax, I'm going to tell you this, guys, my honest opinion about that scar that was on her head for that. She looked pretty cute. I'm sorry. I have to be honest. I was kind of attracted to that. I know that's kind of bad, but I think, what made me think it was cute is that she's a little tough badass. I think Kairi Sane is just badass. But she has suffered injuries in those matches. And that being a laceration over her head from the steel steps from Nia Jax. She's also suffered concussions. Now there's a report that her status in WWE is what the hell kind of thing. And it says that there were plans in May for Sane to go back to Japan, work as an ambassador for WWE there. Now there is no word if what happened to her injury has impacted her career. And then there's also a bunch of sources that were asked if the role would involve WWE's rumored expansion into Japan with NXT. They said there is no expansion. That didn't happen because of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's unknown if plans for Sane were far enough along for that to be discussed. Many in the company have been radio silent about her status. I can understand why they would be radio silent because they don't want to assume that she's in the doghouse or whatnot. I don't know, and I'm pretty sure they're worried. They probably don't know what is the full status because it's complicated right now. I mean, this is probably like maybe the third time she's had a concussion, or even worse with the laceration and getting injured with Nia. I mean, and which I know a lot of people will say, well, that's Nia's fault. That might be true, but that's just how it is when you're in a sports, athletically competitive contact sport. You're bound to get hurt. Could Nia have been safe? Yes. She could have been more safe than what she could have. And the fact that she wasn't being that night, that's probably what complicated things. As far as Kairi goes, I mean, I think she'd be a good ambassador for WWE Japan in general because, quite honestly, there's a lot of young, aspiring women. She's definitely a huge role model to all the women in Stardom and Joshi, along with Asuka and Io Shirai. And there was even talks about them having influence and bringing some more Japanese female stars. I think, for one, I know Hana Kimura was one of those people that were talked about. Hikaru Shida was actually even brought up to NXT Performance for a tryout. In general, I just look at that and I just think, man, why not have somebody like Kairi Sane to be an ambassador? You already have Funaki, too, guys, as an ambassador there, too, so that's not a bad thing. But I think she would make a great ambassador. She's very caring, she's very kind, and she wants to help everyone out. And I'm gonna say this, so I know some people are gonna be holding grudges against Nia Jax. Kairi's not holding too much of a grudge, from what it sounds like. In fact, it looks like her and Nia have actually hashed it up already. I don't think Nia is a bad person in general, anyway. So, for those of you who are thinking like that, I don't know what the hell you smoking, to be honest. But anyway, I wish Kairi the speediest recovery from her injuries, and I just hope when she comes back that she gets a bigger role within the company as far as, where she goes, Maybe a title reign with the SmackDown Women's title, or maybe a match against Asuka, that would be freaking awesome, to have a rivalry between these two. Alright. Next, we're going into some AEW news, and I'm just going to start off with the big man, Cody Rhodes. This guy. Cody's has had a long week as the last 2 weeks of basically being in the news. Pretty sure that's going to continue as we go. I mean, you really think about it, Cody's life is banging right now. He has the TNT Championship. AEW is being super successful. And on top of that, this man is just basically on top of the world as I believe. Alright guys, so basically what has happened is that Cody has been filing trademarks himself for AEW, and in particular the American Nightmare creation plans and trademarks for various apparel. So basically what's being trademarked by Cody right now is basically his American Nightmare brand. And he's looking at getting GS bandanas, hats, shirts, sweatshirts, ties, and clothing, and hooded shirts. Hooded sweatshirts, my bad. Well, hooded shirts are kind of cool too, guys. Don't get me wrong. But Cody is filing the trademark for American Nightmare and is going to be getting for many different apparel. So I'm guessing this is going to be part of the AEW shop or even just Cody's shop on Pro Wrestling Tees. So be on the lookout for that. I mean, that would be awesome. It's funny thing though, I'm gonna say. Um, they provided a CML update within the article, and there is no CML update on here. So I do not know what the hell is up with that in general. But yeah, Big Man Cody, man, American Nightmare. Check out his apparel, guys, for real. I'm probably gonna be checking out that hooded sweatshirts and shit, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, with Cody going on, he also went on an interview to discuss many things, especially revolving around the situation of WWE using the Great American Bash for NXT tonight. And this is what he had to say. First, he talks about Dusty's involvement in the Great American Bash, where he says, people I think sometimes mistakenly think that Dusty just named Starrcade and Great American Bash, and it's well beyond just naming them. It's a matter of booking them, marketing them, of the creation. My dad always told me that Starrcade was for my sister, and that Great American Bash was for me. And obviously at that time he came up with these events. I'm not sure that was actually the case, but that's what he told me. And that's why it's very special, both events, to me and my sister. And which you guys can understand, that is sentimental value. I mean, when your dad creates anything like product or invention, and he basically did it based off the fact that he was thinking of you, it is very sentimental. And it's not just intellectual property anymore. It's just, that is something that's sentimental. So whenever you see Starrcade being talked about or Great American Bash, it just even Cody says it in this interview. He says that it always reminds him of his dad because his dad thought of them, which to me that is deep. That is very deep, and man, it makes me appreciate the dream more now. When he was coming up with ideas, he put a lot of thought into it. And this is what he had to say about on WWE using the name for NXT. And he goes on to say, I'm not going to get angry because it still brings up his name in a positive way. The marketing of the event reminds me a lot of what Disney currently does. If you go to Disney World, they still sell Haunted Mansion shirts. And they are all done retro style. They market nostalgia. If you run a sizzle reel with Sting, Dusty Rhodes, and Hulk Hogan, none of them are going to be there. I'm not really upset about it. I know my sister really just thought it was strange that it was announced willy-nilly, last minute, in the strangest of ways. I would hope that they do something special with it. I think our show is better. I think it will be better in execution, but I hope they do something special with it because I hated what Michael Hayes did with Starrcade. He took a creation of my dad's and made it a live event because they weren't selling any tickets in North Carolina, and he wanted to save his job. That was disappointing to me in terms of that was the premier event of World Championship Wrestling and the NWA. And you did what you did with it. And the same, I hope, is not what happens with Great American Bash. I'm not upset about it, anything that brings my dad's name in a positive light. Is it weird feeling? For sure. But I've also been in a tag team match with my brother competing ratings-wise against the Dusty Rhodes Classic. One guy I never mind competing with is my own dad. I'll never mind that. And the Great American Bash, it is what it is. And I would hope they do something positive with it. And which, guys, I think I reported it last week about the Great American Bash being used. And I actually said this about Cody. Cody don't care. if they use the name. If anything, he's just gonna be thinking about his dad the whole time. The only thing he hopes for, as far as them using the events and all the different intellectual properties that his dad had invented, is that they would do something good for the younger talent, that they would do better, and that they would make a better show out of it. And that's what he's looking forward towards as far as the Great American Bash goes. But as far as his main priority right now is AEW, and he's looking to make sure Fyter Fest becomes a better show. That's just what he's saying. And I honestly, you know what? I totally agree with Cody on all of it. I mean, the Great American Bash and Starrcade, guys, that is something that's deeply rooted within their family in general. And when WWE brings it up every time, like when they ever do an event or ever they talk about it, or even go in documentary and film it, it just brings up his dad in a positive light, because that's wrestling history there. And it's good wrestling history in general. And quite honestly, it makes their family more recognizable in the wrestling world in general. And, you know, the one thing he really hopes for is that if they do use it, they hope that they use it to help elevate guys and make them better stars, produce a better show so the fans benefit. That's basically what Cody would want. That's what Dustin would want as far as these events would go for, guys. And quite honestly, it shocks me that Michael Hayes actually used Starrcade to save his job. That's the first time I've ever heard about that. But yeah, I can understand why that was kind of a disappointment for Cody right there, because Starrcade to me should have been a pay-per-view event for the WWE. It should be. I mean, they should do something like that. I mean, quite honestly, I think if WWE were to use Starrcade, they gotta make it one of the bigger events of the year, you know? And to make it a house show, let alone just a network show, is kind of disappointing, and it's such last minute and such crap, you know, because they weren't selling tickets. My God. Would it have to do with the demographic in North Carolina? Honestly, I think so, just because the fact the Carolinas were mostly known for enjoying NWA wrestling, the old school wrestling, not the WWE style of wrestling. I don't know how they would feel about AEW that much, though. The generation that loves AEW is the younger group of audience, and the college level audience who really like AEW. But WWE is not going to be well welcomed in the South as much, you know. Other than that, you know, I say for both the WWE Great American Bash and AEW's Fyter Fest, I hope both shows are a success, that fans tune in and watch, enjoy. I mean, I'm looking forward to some of these matches, guys. Oh man, like the one that I'm looking forward to is let's see. When it comes to AEW Fyter Fest, I know I'm looking forward to the Jungle Boy Luchasaurus versus Wardlow and what you call MJF, you know. Frick, MJF is probably the bigger star, and then I'm just like not thinking about his name at the time. My God, brain fart. I'm also looking forward to seeing Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage tonight. I think it's going to be an interesting match if it's still going on. And this is a 2-night thing, so for all of you guys who want to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Cody versus Jake Hager tonight, because I believe that's going to be a great match in general. You know, I'm trying to think back. How often did I see Cody take on Jack Hager in WWE? Not often, you know. I mean, this might be a first time. Shit. All right, all right. Enough about that. And as far as Great American Bash, I'm looking forward to that match with Sasha Banks and Io Shirai. I think that's a great match there. Plus, what do you call? What else? By the way, folks, the Great American Bash is also a 2 night thing too, from what I understand. Oh man, I'm definitely also looking forward to Roddy Strong facing the frickin' oh man Dexter Loomis. Uh, you know why, guys? I'm having a hard time remembering his names because I remember his name in TNA. Oh man. Also, there's a lot of great matches here so far, like the 8 woman, the 4-way elimination match to determine the number 1 contender for Io Shirai, which will be Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, and Dakota Kai. I think that's going to be a great match. I think all 4 women in that match are definitely worthy of going up against Io Shirai. But I think she's got a tougher challenge in Sasha Banks tonight. All right, speaking of more about AEW, Jake the Snake Roberts was on today. What was it? What was he on? He was on Wrestling Daily Podcast, and basically he was asked about what did he think about WWE countering AEW with the Great American Bash, and this is what he said basically. Well, they feel the heat, you know. Competition's good for everybody. It makes people step up their game. Obviously, I'm going to tell you who I'm going for. AEW. And just because I want to, I think they have a good product. It's different. It's a different product, and different is good. Especially with where WWE is and different is good. At the end of the day, competition is good. Because it just makes people go out there and work harder. And that's great for the fans. And the fans reap the benefits of that. And you know what, guys? I'm going to say this much. I agree with Jake Snake Roberts. And as a wrestling fan, I'm actually enjoying this era as far as watching different wrestling as we go. Mainly because there is many different wrestling products out there today, and quite honestly, with Jake going out there and stating what it was meant to say, the fans will reap the benefits. And you know what? That's how it was when I was growing up, watching both WWE, WCW, and ECW. I mean, I had a fan favorite in each one of those companies, where it was babyfaces or heels. Austin was my favorite in WWE. My favorite heel was Taker at the time. My favorite babyface in WCW was Sting. And my favorite heel at the time was Hulk Hogan. Because fucking Hogan was just an ass at that time. It was epic. And then when I look at ECW, my favorite wrestler, everybody's going to be like, what the flying effing fuck? It was New Jack. My favorite wrestler in ECW was New Jack. You know, and that's because New Jack did some crazy fucking shit. And I love the music that he came out to. He actually looked like a fucking gangster. Oh, man. I tell you, New Jack was awesome. You know, and my favorite heel of all time in ECW will be Raven in general, because that fucking character, I mean, how could you not feel what he was talking about? How could you not see what he was going into? I mean, Raven was one of the most contemporary wrestlers of his day with his character. Sadly enough, it wasn't like that in WWE. But that's because he already had this preconceived notion going on against him, saying, what the fuck is Johnny Polo doing here? That's basically what happened. And it's not like they disrespect Raven entirely. I mean, fuck. They look at Raven as one of the godfathers of hardcore wrestling from the 90s, just because of the fact that Raven was a pioneer in ECW, did great shit in WCW, And then on top of that, when coming to WWE, which a lot of people think he had a shit run, I want you to look at his hardcore title reigns. The brothers won the title 27 times. It's just as big as R-Truth winning the damn 24/7 title 35 times. And quite honestly, that would make him one of the greatest wrestlers in WWE. Problem is, he's going to be very, very underrated altogether. But that's just my honest opinion. And you know what? Jake's right. We're all reaping the benefits today. I mean, there's many things you can be favorites of. I know some people are fans of the Monday Night Messiah and also fans of Kenny Omega. I know there's some people who are fans of Asuka, but they love Riho. And then there's also fans out there who are loving the Young Bucks, but they can't stop loving the New Day, even if they get tired of the New Day. I mean, there's just... That's why it's good to have competition. That's why it's good to have two shows. It's so that us, the fans, can enjoy and watch what they do and be entertained. So, you know, I agree with Jake 110%. Though I'm rooting for WWE more because I'm a WWE fanboy, as some people would say. But I also hope AEW does a great show too. I mean, fuck, I would love to watch as much talent get success as they go at the end of the day. I would love to see everyone succeed at the end of the day. Alright, next in the news, Samoa Joe, guys. Joe is in the news again. And this time, he is being asked about his current status with WWE and what Vince McMahon told him about his current status. And this is going to be quite interesting to me because, you know, Joe's been going through a lot. With his concussions, there's a lot of talk if his wrestling days are numbered. But let's see what he had to say here. And that is, Joe talks about being a commentator and Vince's reaction. And this is what Joe had to say. I've had zero media aspirations, Joe admitted. I just drift through life. And things just hit me as they come. I got on the commentary table. It was funny when the lights shined on me. I started to hear the angels sing. I said to myself, you know, this might be a good fit. I then put on my headset, and Vince came through and said, you know it feels right. I was like, I know. It's been a weird journey, but I'm still on it. It's an odyssey and a quest. I'm just trying to take the world along with me. I have a very descriptive mind. You know, when I see things, my observations are quick to come right out of my mouth. So yeah, it's been working out very well. What do I have to say about this from the former United States champion and former TNA World Champion and former Ring of Honor champion? Let's not forget about that. Samoa Joe on commentary, he's actually one of the you guys got to admit, he's probably one of the better commentators out there today. And you know, it makes me laugh a lot because when I look back in his days in TNA, he was mentored by Taz. And Taz had a similar career to Joe's. And when Taz's injuries got the best of him to the point where he could no longer wrestle full time, he went to the announcer's booth. Look at Joe now. He's following in his mentor's footsteps, in my opinion, and joined the announce booth. And quite honestly, he's pretty fucking good. I actually like listening to Joe every Monday night or Friday night. I would love to see let me tell you this. If Joe comes back to wrestle full-time or part-time, I would still love to see him eventually move into that commentator role because he's fucking good. He's really good. And, you know, this article just confirms it in general. This interview confirms it because he feels like this is just right. And then Vince is going, you know it feels right. It's like, hey, let's put it that way. The plans align. I think Joe's next phase in his career after wrestling's over is in the announcer's booth. And quite honestly, why not? I mean, the guy has some of the best damn promos in the business. He can make you feel that anger and that violence that he brings. He can make you feel like you despise him. He can also make you laugh. He can also make you feel quite upset. So, I say Joe's going to be... I think Joe, it's benefit for Joe right there. And I wish him all the success because I feel like Joe deserves more recognition than he has in wrestling in general. I mean, this guy really worked his ass off to where he is today. And even have to put up with the adversity of some fans just calling him fat for stupid reasons and just being assholes about it. But, you know, this guy does amazing shit in the ring. Apparently now, he does amazing shit on the microphone when it comes time to commentate and watch other people's matches. And I quite honestly, how many of you would like to see him and Jericho on the mic? I mean, like, what I'm saying is, how many of you would love to see him and Jericho tag team on commentary? That would be quite fun, don't you think? Oh, man. There's some good stuff going on with Joe. And you know what? I say this. What is my opinion if you ask me if Joe belongs in the WWE Hall of Fame? I say yes. Shit, why not? He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Alright. So, next. The Monday Night Messiah is in the news today. Well, actually, he was in it yesterday, and I'm just reporting it here. But, the Monday Night Messiah has decided to go on record and be talking. And this is what he had to say because he was reacting to an idea of a rematch with Shinsuke Nakamura. What do I think about this match in general, in my opinion? I believe this is going to be a fucking fantastic match. Shinsuke is definitely the epiphany of what is different from Seth, you know. I think these two would have a great match going one-on-one, and I think it's a dream match that's just waiting to happen. And Shinsuke signed with WWE, so is Rollins. If you can get that heat back on Shinsuke some more, and then work Rollins into an angle with him, you are going to get a great match. I guarantee you that. Oh, man. But, basically to summarize what Seth has said about this match, because let me show you guys what's going on with my loading time right now, so I couldn't read the damn full article. I have this issue going on right now, and it's not changing as we go here. So, just to give you guys a heads into what I was going to read, but basically what Seth said is that basically after their encounter at Survivor Series where they were on opposite sides, he actually would love to, he was saying to himself, I would love to have a one-on-one match with Shinsuke Nakamura, and I think we could tear the house down and sell it out because that Survivor Series match wasn't justifiably good enough for the both of us to go head to head with each other because we did a match prior to Survivor Series, and we pretty much tore the house down, and I think would have been a better match to put on the network than our confrontation at Survivor Series. So, basically, what Seth is saying in general is that he's open and wants to do another match with Shinsuke Nakamura, where these two guys just tear the house down. And quite honestly, I think they could. How would I do the propose? I would turn Shinsuke over here, baby. I don't know how exactly yet, but I would make sure he would be the babyface and Seth would be the heel. Main reason is because I think Shinsuke does better, and I think the fans enjoy him more as a babyface than a heel, where they enjoy Seth Rollins as that fucking badass, cool ass heel. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Would you guys love to see these two go one-on-one together? And I know, this is a fake picture with the Universal title in Shinsuke's hand, but should a title be on the line for that matter? Because I think it would be a great match, whether it be the Universal title, the WWE title, Intercontinental, US, doesn't matter. I think it would be a great match in general, and I think it would be a great story. Alright, man. That's it for today, I believe, for the news. And I hope you guys and I hope you guys enjoyed. And I want to thank you all for watching, as usual. And I hope you guys subscribe, and just tune in to more wrestling news later on, and even check out our other content, such as my cooking videos. I'm actually finishing up a current project for the cooking videos, and I'll be posting it up soon. As far as my gaming content goes, we're on our way to finishing up Chrono Trigger, and quite honestly, the new episodes are being released as we speak. I believe episode 38 was released today. And I believe I have episode 39 tomorrow and episode 40 on Friday. And then on Monday we go back to 41, 42, and then 40A, which is basically it's basically a redo. It's just a video bonus content. It's just filler, really, to provide you guys a video and to enjoy my misery because I failed so bad in that episode. And then we go on to 43 and 44 next week. Alright, so that will be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked the video. And subscribe if you can. Leave comments too, guys. What do you think about a Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura match? What do you think of Joe being on commentary? How do you feel about this whole thing with Terrace House and Hana Kimura? How successful do you think Cody Rhodes will be in the next future? Do you think he'll even have his own Hall of Fame induction? What else? If any of you guys have a match recommended for me to watch with legendary wrestler Tim Brooks, give me a heads up. I would love to watch the match in general. Oh, man. And then on top of that, guys, I hope you have a good day. And tell me what your guys' thoughts on Renee Young's cookbook when it comes out. I mean, I'm interested in that. All right. Other than that, guys, y'all take care. God bless. Thank you. And aloha.